I am back with another recap review. This is actually more so probably gonna be like a review. First things first, let me just start off by saying that this will contain spoilers. So if you don't want to know what's going to go down in the season finale, please don't watch this, because I don't want anyone being like, oh, she ruined it for me, you know, why did she do that, da 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 da. So first off, this whole season we kind of pretty much see Issa dealing with her boyfriend Lawrence and his struggles with trying to be self-employed and doing his own, you know, hustle thing, which isn't making much money. And you know how she's pretty much reacting to that. So Issa, as we know, is with Lawrence, and you know they were all happy, good. I think she's been with him like 4 or 5 years. They were all happy, they were good, and then he started wanting to develop some type of app or something he was trying to do. The problem with that is, you know, while he's trying to develop this app, he's not working. So Issa's like getting frustrated with him. He's not bringing any income into the house because they live together, you know, they share an apartment together and all that, and he's not contributing. So she's pretty much carrying him, and that has pretty much created tension within the relationship, for lack of a better word. I was trying to think of something else to say, but it pretty much created tension in the relationship, you know, by him not having a job, not bringing any income in. And you know, he could kind of tell that, you know, she's getting upset. And while all this is going down, Issa's thinking about her ex-boyfriend. What's his name? Oh, Daniel. His name is Daniel. How could I forget that? My name is Danielle. How could I forget his name is Daniel? Anyway, so, you know, she starts thinking about her ex-boyfriend Daniel. So she messages him on Facebook or whatever. And, you know, they talking and all this and that. And talking about, I miss you and da-da-da-da-da-da. So she pretty much, as we know, hooked up with Daniel. And, you know, they got it in. And when they got it in, I was like, whoa. Because the screenshots on that, or the scene was kind of sexy. But anyway, so yeah, she hooked up with Daniel, and he's like totally feeling her. Like, he comes back around. He's, after they, you know, did it and all that, he comes back around and he's like, you know, hey, what's up, Issa? I'm trying to get back with you. You know, calling her, texting her and all that. And Issa's like still thinking in her mind, like she's still processing what happened, and she's just kind of like, okay, I don't want to be with you. You know, she had that fundraiser thing for work, and he comes to the fundraiser thing, and you know, he's like trying to figure out what's going on, and she's just like, you were just an itch I want to scratch, basically. So that's over with, done with. But I'll leave my predictions for season 2 after this next segment. So yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. So while all this is going on, Lawrence is trying to get himself together. You know, he kind of sees that Issa's mad at him for you know, not having a job and not bringing any income into the household. So he goes ahead and he gets a job at Best Buy. And while this is going on, I don't know why I keep saying that, but while this is going on, there's this bank teller. And he's going to the bank, you know, doing whatever with his finances. And the bank teller's just, you know, they flirting and back and forth. And, you know, an opportunity presented himself where she comes in one day to the Best Buy, you know, like hollering at him. She's like basically asked him out if he wanted to go, you know, get some food or some drinks or something. And he, you know, turned her down because he got Issa. And he's like, he's faithful. You know, like, he's a brother that's faithful. He didn't want to cheat on Issa. So he's like, even though they had problems, you know, he was in it. He was in it. So so that goes on, and then back to the fundraiser. They at the fundraiser or whatever, and of course Daniel is there and Lawrence is there too. Lawrence actually saw when Daniel was talking to Issa, and obviously I don't think he could hear what was being said, but he could read the body language, and he knew something was going on because he had already seen the text messages kind of pop up on Issa's phone one night after they, you know, was being intimate. And he was kind of like, okay, you know, he was already suspicious. So when he saw the fundraiser thing, he started to get really suspicious. So after the fundraiser event happened, Issa comes home to Lawrence, and Lawrence is sitting on the couch, and he's like, "Who's Daniel?" And he basically confronted her, and Issa's like, "Oh, he's nobody. He's nobody. You know, he was just somebody I was working with from high school. You know, yada yada yada." And Lawrence was just like, straight up, you know, "Did you F him?" And she was like, "No, I didn't F him. I didn't F him." And then she got real quiet. Well, you know what? She didn't even say that. She didn't say she didn't F him, but she just got real, like, quiet. And he was like, "Man, you F that, blah, blah, blah." I don't use profanity, so. She was like, "Man," he was like, "Man, you F that, blah, blah, blah." And she was like, "It was just once. It was one time." No, he asked her if it was more than once. And he was like, "Yeah." I mean, yeah. So he asked her if it was more than once. And she was like, "Nah, it was just that one time." So he got real upset, and basically he left. So then we jump into this episode. Sorry, that was like, I'm kind of recapping like the last 2 episodes, but I wanted to make sure that I was like flowing into what was occurring, you know. So yeah, back to the season finale. Issa's reaching out to him. She's calling him, you know, showing up to his job, and he's just basically like, "Look, we done. Like, I just can't with you no more." So Issa's like, "Okay." So they got this girls trip that they going on, and you know, she's also having an outs with Molly at the moment, because she was kind of like low-key suggesting that maybe Molly should do therapy, just because she can't find a good man. Every time Molly tries to look for a man, she pretty much makes an excuse for why the relationship can't progress. So Issa was pretty much getting on her about that, and then she had the nerves to say, "You don't even deserve Lawrence," which is very ironic. But anyway, so they're kind of, you know, at outs right at the moment. So they go on this girls trip, and there's like tension between Molly and Issa, but eventually they end up resolving their little girl fight, just because they're best friends. They always gonna be there for each other. So while they're, you know, away on their trip, Lawrence actually calls. Oh wait, let me back up. So Lawrence is, you know, staying at his dude's house that's engaged or whatever. And what happens? He's staying at a dude's house, and they start talking about women and cheating, and if you could forgive your girl if she cheated on you, and da 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 da. And Lawrence is basically like, "Man, forget the sad stuff, let's go out." So they go to a strip club. There's, you know, girls dancing and stuff all on them. You know, it's just strip club. I've never been to one, but it's a strip club. They had a strip club. So they at the strip club, and freaking, I don't know how many times I say strip club, but they at the strip club, and Lawrence sees like a girl that he likes or whatever. So they go in the back, and they do like that whole I forgot what they call that thing, where the guy, she gave him a lap dance basically, like in a private show or whatever. I forget what the terminology is, but she's back there giving him a lap dance or whatever. And then she was like, "Oh, it's $400 to F, you know, to have sex, and something $200 to get your that's a better it's $200 to get your." So he just kind of realized what type of world he living in. He just kind of like, "Nah, I ain't about to pay for no sex." So he calls Issa up, and, you know, he starts talking to her, and he's like real kind of quiet. It's like one of those awkward phone conversations where you want to say something to somebody, but like you just can't really find the right words to say it. So it's like kind of silent in the conversation. It's just awkward. And then Issa was just like so happy, you know, that he was calling. She was just like on full thirst mode, like, oh hey, so what you do? You know, like it was kind of like one of them type of things. So he basically tells her that he misses her, and you know, they should talk when she gets back. So he goes back to the crib, because the crib's empty, and Issa pretty much, you know, asks everybody if they can go back home, because she needs to, you know, get the situation figured out with Lawrence like right away, which I can understand, because I've been in predicaments where it's like, when you fight with your significant other or whatever, like you want it resolved ASAP. Like, no matter what the situation is, like, you just can't have that, you know, it feels almost like a hole. So it's like you have to rush and, you know, do whatever you need to do to resolve it. So she was on that tip. And, you know, Molly, she been a true friend for her since the get-go. So she's like, all right, cool. So on their way back, I don't know if it was like an hour or how long it was between the place they were staying at for the girls trip was. But she, like, basically, you know, Molly and her made up or whatever. And she gets dropped off at her apartment. So Issa walks in and she's all happy. She sees the keys laying on the table. She's like, oh, Lawrence is back here. We can resolve our relationship. She walks into the bedroom and there's like stuff missing. All his stuff is gone. And then lo and behold, in the closet is the Best Buy shirt. Now, this part was just kind of like, dang, that's bogus, because we knew what that meant. That Best Buy shirt meant that basically you didn't want me when I was down and out, and now I got this better job, and now you want to repair things. You cheated on me when I was at a low point, and you know, you couldn't be there for me when I needed you. So here's a Best Buy shirt. You can keep that. I'm moving on to bigger and better things, basically. Like, pretty much he has a new outlook on life. And he don't want to be with her no more because of the fact that she messed up. So, indiscretions, you know, they can be forgiven. But I think that when a girl cheats on a guy, it's a little bit harder for the guy to get past it, depending on what you know, how the guy is. And I think that Lawrence, his pride was so hurt that Issa did this, because he was getting ready to propose to her. Like, they had looked at rings a couple of episodes. Like, he was getting his shit together. Oops. He was getting his stuff together for her. And, you know, while he was in the process of doing that, she couldn't hang. And she messed up and she cheated. So, Lawrence was just really pissed off. So, pretty much all the energy that he was saving, you know, or all the energy, he was just letting loose with the bank teller. Like, just when I saw that scene, it was like, whoa, dang. Like, he was, I don't want to be too, you know, like, because that's not me. I want to keep it classy. But he was just like just letting loose on old girl, bank teller girl. So yeah. And then the last scene was Molly and Issa just kind of crying on the couch with, you know, a bottle of wine or whatever it was. So I think that for season 2, don't know when it's going to start. Hopefully it'll be like in the spring or something. I hope we don't have to wait all the way till like next fall, because I hate when they do that. But I hate when like they show like a first season or something and there's only like a few episodes, because I swear it was only been like 8 or 10 episodes or so. But I freaking love this show. Like, this is my cut. Like, I'm gonna miss being able to, you know, sit down Sunday night and catch up with Issa and Molly and seeing what's going on in Insecure. Like, I'm gonna miss it. But I will definitely binge watch season 1 again, because it's that good. Like, it's a great show. Yeah, and then my predictions for next season, I think that Molly is going to have a serious relationship, and she's going to be like all booed up, and Issa's going to kind of have to get back into the dating life again and just kind of deal with the struggles of Lawrence being gone. And I think she's going to further advance her career. She's probably going to get a promotion or something like that. Yeah, but I think Molly's going to find love. I think Issa's going to be into the single lifestyle dating world again, and then Molly's going to try to help her with that, but she's going to struggle with it. She might even go back to Daniel for a little bit, but nothing like serious. And I think at the end of the season, she's going to get back with Lawrence. And I think Lawrence is still going to be on the show. They're going to run into each other at some point. It's going to be awkward. But he's going to start dating the bank teller, probably. He's going to try to advance his stuff with his app, probably. Which means he's going to be getting money. So Issa really going to be just like, woo! I bet you that's what's gonna happen. His acting, whatever he been trying to work on for all them years, I bet you it's gonna progress and like blow up, and Issa gonna be like feeling super salty. But I bet you they get together at the end. Like, that's how them shows usually work. Like, most of them, they probably gonna get together at the end. So I don't know what y'all think. Leave me your thoughts on season 1 as a whole in the comments, and leave me your predictions of what you think might happen for season 2. Yeah, because I want to see what y'all got to say, like, for real. Alright, so that is pretty much it for my recap review, or whatever y'all want to call this thing. Remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. Subscribe. I don't know what that was, so yeah.